What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talk Sports with Jake. Hope all doing well. So, let's get right into it. We're going to go over some free agency stuff for NFL. Continue my NFL offseason series, and we'll close out with some wrestling from last night. But first of all, Kyrie Irving, let's start with some basketball real quick. Kyrie Irving suffered a torn ACL last night. He was helped off the court after getting hurt in the Mavericks game last night. He has a torn ACL. He's out for the season. Really tough break for him, especially he's got that player option coming up. Will he opt in? Will he opt out and test for agency again? A tough break. He obviously has had his fair share of issues on and off the court. I've ranted about him enough over the years. So last 2 years, though, he has gotten himself together, and he's not been as much of a head case, or really head case at all, to be honest. But he has had some trouble staying healthy throughout his whole career. And another injury for Kyrie Irving. Tough break for Dallas, who just... Nico Harrison might have been a curse on that team with that Luka trade. Everything's gone wrong. It's horrible to say, but things have just gone downhill. You trade Luka for Anthony Davis. For his first game, looks great in the first half. It's like, all right, at least for this year, we could be a contender. He goes down. He's out at least a month. Shams reported today he might be out for the year now. Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford are already hurt. Now Kyrie's out for the year. Yeah, a bunch of other guys who were nicked up, and just their whole team is hurt. Like, if Nico Harrison gets fired after the season, they should take the training staff with him, because they're just as bad off, if you ask me. But that's Kyrie. NFL just broke, actually. The Philadelphia Eagles are extending Saquon Barkley, a 2-year extension worth $41.2 million. That is just over $20 million a season. That makes him the highest paid running back in NFL history. The record was Ezekiel Elliott, who got $16 million a year on his extension. Or, I think it was Christian McCaffrey. It was Zeke who got $15 a year. When Christian McCaffrey signed an extension with originally he signed with Carolina years ago, and then he signed another 2-year extension, I think, last year with the Niners. His original extension was $16 million, and he may have topped that last year when he re-upped with the 49ers on a 2-year extension. But Saquon blows either of those out of the water. And he sent a 2-year extension worth $41.2 million. He sent a 3-year deal last offseason, so that keeps him under contract for 4 years. Basically, the rest of his prime and beyond, he will be a Philadelphia Eagle. Obviously, was off the player of the year this year. Had the best year of his 7-year career. Was obviously a major reason why the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl. If he had played the last game of the year, he probably would have broke the all-time rushing record for a single season. It's been which has been a record since Aaron Dickerson broke it years and years and years ago. But they locked him up. It's a lot of money for a running back, but he is the best one in the league. And not sure how that'll age and the back end of it, but Eagles are all worried about right now. And right now, they're coming off a Super Bowl, and right now he is the best running back in the league and one of the best players in the league, period. Other moves that were made, the Eagles cut James Bradbury. I wonder if it did that because they knew this was coming. I reported yesterday they cut Darius Slay. Saved them $4.3 million against the cap, and they're gonna make James Bradbury a post June 1st cut. It'll save him just over $2 million against the cap once June 1st hits. Bradbury did not play at all last year. He tore his ACL in preseason. 2 seasons ago was the last time he played. He was not great that year. 2 years prior, he signed a 3-year deal with $38 million with the Eagles, coming off a really strong season. Was capped off with that defensive holding money that cost him in the Super Bowl that year, but did have a very strong year. And 2 years ago, he regressed a lot. This past year was obviously they drafted Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, but then they kept him on the roster. And then he goes down for the season. They let him go. He's getting older. He's now 31. Obviously, coming off a torn ACL, didn't play last year, but if he's healthy, should probably still at least be a serviceable corner. He has the ability to play safety. You wonder where could he go. The Lions need some help in the secondary, especially with Carlton Davis hitting the free agent market and all the injuries they had last year. Could he be a name that they look at? Could he a reading with the Giants being stored? They could use another corner. So we'll see who decides to pick up James Bradbury's services. But he has been let go by the Philadelphia Eagles, probably because they knew. Plus, they didn't need him and Darius Slay. Anyway, those two guys are on the back end of their careers getting older. You drafted 2 guys last year, Mitchell and DeJean, both who played excellent this year. Mitchell was really good. DeJean played well. Obviously, DeJean had a pick 6 in the Super Bowl on his birthday, which is crazy. But so those 2 really weren't needed. You also have Reed Blankenship there. Got some other guys there. They were their services were really no longer needed. Can't keep everybody. They're up against the cap. They got a lot of guys that are free agents on the defensive side of the ball. Mint Williams, Josh Sweat, Zach Ballon. So they're gonna have to try and keep as many as they can. So you can't keep everybody in a league where you have a salary cap, obviously. But he was let go, and the big move that happened, the Cowboys re-signed Osa. I don't know if I can pronounce this correctly, but I'm gonna give this a try. Osa Odigizua, maybe. I apologize if I pronounced his name wrong, but he re-upped with the Cowboys, 4 years, $80 million, $58 million guaranteed, so a big contract for him. I reported yesterday that they were trying to re-sign him. If they couldn't, they would franchise tag him. We're gonna have a bunch of tags coming out. The Bengals already slapped it on T. Higgins. The Chiefs are gonna slap it on Trey Smith, their Pro Bowl offensive guard. We do have a few of those coming, but Osa re-signed with Dallas. He had a very strong year this past year. Best of his career, 47 tackles, 4.5 sacks, a pass defense, a forced fumble. Also had 23 quarterback, which is very impressive for a defensive tackle. He's been all 4 years of his career. He's always been a very solid contributor, kind of flew under the radar. Has been the picture of durability. He's only missed, I don't think he's missed a single game, and maybe 1 game in 4 years. So he's as reliable as it gets, and he had become one of the better defensive tackles in football this year. Defensive tackles, that market has just gone through the roof over the last few years, and he got his bag as well. Re-signed with the Dallas Cowboys. They restructured CeeDee Lamb's deal, which saved him $20 million, probably to get this done, because otherwise they would not have been able to get this deal done. They are right up against the cap. That's why myself and a lot of other people thought he was going to leave, along with DeMarcus Lawrence and some other pieces as well. But he's back in Dallas. Now let's get to my NFL offseason preview. We're doing 3 teams today. First team is the Chicago Bears. This is a big offseason for the Bears. You have a rookie quarterback in Caleb Williams. I've given you all my opinion on him many times over the last year or two, but it doesn't matter what I think. He's a rookie quarterback. He drafted number 1 overall last year. You got 2 years until you have to possibly pay him or make a decision on him. So you have to capitalize now. They have almost $80 million in cap space. You have to be aggressive. They made a trade earlier today. They acquired Jonah Jackson, an offensive guard from the Rams. In return, to give up a 6th round draft pick in that trade. So that's a move that they made. I'm gonna pull up his season this year. He was part of the Rams offensive line this past season. There were some rumors he could get traded because we didn't know what was happening with Stafford. Cooper Kupp's on the way out, possibly because of the financial piece. You just re-signed Eric Jackson for almost $20 million a season. So this past year, he had a decent season. Did not take a single penalty. He didn't play a whole lot. He didn't take a single penalty and didn't allow a sack. He graded as not a great pass blocker, but a very good run blocker. Overall, was decent. Was kind of a rotational guy for the Rams. He kind of played all over. He played both guard spots and a bunch of center for the Rams. Not a bad move for the Bears. The line, look, not as bad as the numbers say. The numbers say they give up 68 sacks, the most in the league. Caleb holds on to the ball way too long. So I think a lot of the sacks were on Caleb, not so much on the offensive line. But also, the line could use a little bit of work. Tevin Jenkins, who's one of your guards, is a free agent. He's a very good lineman. Your center, Coleman Shelton, who had a good year last year. He is a free agent. So interior line is a major need. Jonah Jackson, if nothing else, is something. I think the guy they were looking at was going to be Trey Smith, but it looks like he's been tagged. Could he get traded? We shall see. Chiefs don't have a ton of money in cap space. Could they end up moving him? It's possible. You never know. But Jonah Jackson is now a Bear, so it's something. He can be at least nothing else a serviceable offensive lineman for the Bears. But they do need to continue to add to the offensive line. They're going to, they need a center still. The interior of the left line definitely needs some work. The O-line was very undisciplined last year. They took a lot of penalties off the line. obviously the sacks. I've said that they're kind of you know, a little bit slanted because the numbers, because Caleb holds the most one. They still do need to improve that offensive line. And then defensively, they have a lot of nice pieces on that defensive line. Monta Sweat is an excellent pass rusher. You have T.J. Edwards at the linebacker position. Jalen Johnson is an excellent corner, but I still think that they could add another piece or two or so. Yeah, they have a lot of young pieces there, especially in that secondary with Jaquan Brisker and Kyler Gordon that I like, but I'm not sure who the coordinator hire is for Ben Johnson. No, it's Dennis Allen. I didn't love that hire, but they definitely need to look at they need to invest a lot of money in that offensive line because they have two good young tackles in Braxton Jones and Darnell Wright. Darnell Wright was a first round who they moved up a spot for after trading back out of the first pick in the Bryce Young draft a couple years ago. Played really well this year. He had a much better year. Braxton Jones overall did have a good season, but the interior definitely needs a lot of work. So the Bears should really invest in the offensive line. The Bucks, our next team up, they are right up against the cap. They're gonna have to probably let a couple guys go. I think Jordan Whitehead could be a cut candidate. They could save $4.5 million if they cut him. He's a solid safety, but safety's very plug and play. You can kind of just decide as long as you have somebody solid back there. It's not, it's not a premier position by any means. It's probably it's the running back of defenses. Like it's very plug and play. It's not the best idea always to give unless they're like top of the line, to hand out a 4 or 5 year deal for a crap ton of money because they're very replaceable. The kicker Chase McLaughlin is there's better kickers out there. You could save $3.5 million if they cut him. I think that might be a guy you might have to let go. You might have to get a new kicker next year. If you cut those two guys, you save like $8 million against the cap. I do think they will work it out with Devontae David. He's been there for a while. He's had chances to leave for the last few years in free agency. He's yet to do so. So I don't know why he would now. Getting a little older, but still have a very good inside linebacker. They'll re-up on a short-term deal for probably for $6-7 million. I'd be shocked if they re-sign Chris Godwin. With T. Higgins getting franchise tagged, he'll be the top free agent available. He had a lot of injuries last year. He missed half the second half of the year with a season-ending injury. That being said, in the first half, he was great. A bounce-back year after a bit of a tough year the year before where he only had 2 touchdowns all season. Something like that. So when healthy, is still a really good receiver. I do think he's a true receiver when he's healthy. Someone will pay him a lot of money to be the receiver one. So they're going to lose him. And this team has other needs on the defensive side of the ball. You have a couple of good young backs over there in Rashad White and Bucky Irving. Obviously you have Baker Mayfield there at the quarterback position. You have some nice pieces on the offensive line. This defense definitely needs some work. Could use some help off the edge. They have 2 guys on the inside I like. Vita Vea is really good. Kalijah Canty's another former higher-ish pick from a first rounder. But off the edge, you could use somebody. Maybe give Walter David a partner. You thought that was going to be Devin White. We drafted him 5th overall. Did not work out. They could use some help in the secondary outside Jamal Dean. Zion McCollum played pretty well last year, but maybe to replace Jordan Whitehead if he gets let go. But definitely should help out the front seven because that defense was really bad last year, and they also struggled against in pass coverage last year. So they might have to move some money around to do that. But they should definitely focus on the defensive side of the ball. They can probably find a receiver too in the draft. I can see they probably should shift to a more of a run-heavy approach. You have a really good young back in Bucky Irving. There, Rashad White is there as well. You even have Sean Tucker, former late-round pick out of Syracuse, who when he got over even double-digit carries, looked pretty good last year in brief stints. Mike Evans is probably going to be your only legit weapon that you have. It's really scaring anybody. You have a younger offensive line. Baker Mayfield's best years in Cleveland had success in Cleveland. The only years he really had success was when they had those top-tier running games with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. So I think it'll make a lot of sense. However, their offensive coordinator Liam Cohen leaves to take a head coach job in Jacksonville. The new head coach they promoted, it was their passing game coordinator. So I don't know if that means he's a passing game guy. They were pass heavy last year. He's up promotion, so probably a whole lot won't change. But I do think they should run the ball more than they did last year. Bucky Irving clearly is the real deal for sure. Next team up, and the last team we're going to cover today is the Atlanta Falcons. They are over the cap. They got to figure out something with Kirk Cousins. If they cut him, he's going to have an enormous dead cap hit. They can spread it out for over 2 years if they come after June 1st, but they won't save any money. If they trade him, they can save a little bit of money, but also who's going to take that contract? They're going to have to pay a lot of it down. He's got a solid probably $120 million or so left over the next 3 years. He's 38 years old. Torn Achilles 2 years ago. He's in a similar situation as Aaron Rodgers, so he's a couple of years younger. However, Aaron Rodgers is a first-ballot Hall of Famer. Kirk Cousins obviously is not. Aaron Rodgers has 4 MVPs and a Super Bowl. Kirk Cousins, I think, has 2 playoff wins. So, obviously, the difference there. But you obviously drafted Michael Penix last year, if overall, obviously a weird pick. But, he almost won the Heisman last year at Washington. We'll see what happens. You have a bunch of offensive weapons there. I see him targeting a guy like Tyler Conklin from where Jackson Vikings tight end. He's a free agent. He's a serviceable tight end. I think Kyle Pitts is getting traded. I should probably said that first, but you could save like over $10 million if you trade him, I think. Let me just confirm that. Yeah, you save actually close to $11 million if you trade him. He was a 4th pick overall a few years ago. He really is never developed. His rookie year, he played well, had 1,000 yards, has not been able to follow it up. He's had some injuries. The quarterback play hasn't been great always, but, the guy just, every year we think he's going to break out and be the next best great tight end. It never happens. He's not a good break. He's not a red zone threat. Doesn't have very good hands. He's, to me, really, really overrated and very overhyped. He's not been what we thought he was going to be. I can see a team like the Giants maybe throwing you a 5th-round pick, saying like, okay, we'll pay his entire salaries, do like $10.5 million, something like that this year, but we're only giving you a 5th-round pick. They could use a security blanket for whoever the heck the quarterback is next year. Whether they sign a veteran like Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson, or whether they draft Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders at 3 and throw him out there week 1, which would be stupid, but it's the Giants, so can't put it past them. They have plenty of firepower offensively. They have a nice offensive line. The defense needs help. They desperately need pass rush help, and any form they can get, that should be where they go in the first round. That front 7 needs a lot of help. Gray Jarrett is very good on the inside, but other than that, there is not a whole lot there. AJ Terrell also used a little bit of help in the secondary as well. He's an all-pro. Just he beat the safety. He's an all-pro, but he used a solid, maybe a little better corner too. But they really got to help with that front 7. It's one of the worst in the league, and the defense really struggled last year. That's something they're going to have to work on for sure in the offseason. Time to recap Monday Night Raw before we close the show out. So, this was an excellent Monday Night Raw, one of the best Raws of the year thus far. I think that's fair to say. Obviously, it was March 3rd yesterday, so there's only been so many. But still, great start. You had CM Punk storm his way out to the ring. He grabs a mic. He goes, "I'm liable to get kicked off Netflix." He was pissed. And he just absolutely goes out there and cooks The Rock. Called The Rock a bull-headed fraud. He made fun of his Goosebumps forearms. He made fun of his fatality he carries around. Then he cooked John Cena. He said you betrayed all these people. And then he went out and sort of did a promo on Seth Rollins. This is him screaming right into the camera. He ripped the cover off the actual mic, like the Netflix Raw thing off the mic. He's on the announce table screaming right into the camera. Then Seth Rollins' music he had a huge brawl that started. It was one of the most chaotic and just most epic opening segments from Monday Night Raw I've seen in a long time. It was absolutely incredible. And then later they had another brawl before Adam Pearce finally broke him up one more time. And those two are going to fight in a steel cage this coming Monday on Monday Night Raw at Madison Square Garden. That should be awesome. There's the speculation maybe Roman Reigns comes back. May set up something between those 3 at WrestleMania. Gunther against Otis. That was actually a very good match. I was surprised. That was a good match. Then afterwards, he locked Otis in a sleeper. Tozawa tried to go in and help. That didn't really work. But then Jey Uso came to save the day. But then Gunther ended up choking out with a sleeper as they continued to build their World Heavyweight Championship match at WrestleMania. Women's Intercontinental title. Lara Valkyria beats Ivy Nile to retain. That was a really good match. Ivy Nile was really talented. I like that she's getting a little push here. Also, you had Chad Gable had that little segment from wherever the heck it was. Saying like saying he has a lucha problem, and he had that random old guy. He paid $500 to give him like that box. He opened it, and he like kind of like got really flabbergasted, and then the segment ended. So interesting to see where that leads. I like the push that American Maid's getting. The World Tag Team titles, the Warriors do knock off the Creed brothers to win, but that was a very good match. Creed brothers are really, really talented. I'm happy to see the Warriors, getting used as and they're the champions. And you had Ludwig Kaiser cut a promo saying him and Penta had unfinished business, but then Penta came and took him out. I'm very impressed of how Penta has gotten over this quickly since coming over from AEW. And Ludwig Kaiser is on a really good run as well. Then you had Finn Balor also cut a promo. Braun, then Braun came out there, and Finn was able to escape after attacking Braun, and then Braun got back up. But Carlito, obviously, and Dom got the worst of it. He split the life out of Carlito. He has the best figure I've ever seen. There's been some great ones: Roman Reigns, Edge, Goldberg, but just the speed he gets and how high he jumps in the air and just how fast and hard he drives him into the turf. It's incredible. He is absolutely incredible, Braun Breaker. So you had that segment, and then the main thing, the main event was a Women's World Championship match between Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. Io Sky shocks the world and defeats Rhea Ripley to become the new Women's World Heavyweight Championship. Obviously, Bianca Belair's number one contender. She won the Elimination Chamber. She was sitting at the announce table at one point. When Io Sky was getting back in the ring, she was like cheering for Io, and then Rhea got pissed off. They got into a shoving match. The referee Jessica Carr has separate the two. Rhea finally gets back in the ring, but then Io takes her out, ends up winning the match. So I do think we're getting a triple threat between Io, Rhea, and Bianca. We'll see where this goes from there. But Io is the new Women's World Champion. That's all I got for you guys today. Until next time, so long, and have a great day.